Y'all done heard it before. Y'all know about this thing. Just a little deeper look into it. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbarakatah, and all the brothers and sisters scattered across the four corners out here teaching His word with sincerity and charity. Today's class is going to be on, it's going to be a quick class on the 10 virgins and the lamps parable. We're going to do a deeper look into it and give a breakdown on a cultural standpoint on how Israel moved as a culture, because a lot of parables dealt with agriculture. If you don't know nothing about agriculture, then you're going to miss a lot in the parables. A lot of the parables dealt with, the olive tree and the fig tree. If you don't know about how those trees blossom and what time of year they blossom, you're going to miss certain things in the parables. If you don't know the culture of marriage and how marriage took place in those days, then you're going to miss a lot of things in some of these parables. But today's parable is dealing with the 10 virgins and their lamps. All right, you go ahead and go to the next slide. Can you read that?
Yeah. The book of Matthew, chapter 25, and verse 1 through 13. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps, and took no oil with them, but the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell, and buy for yourself. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to marry, and the door was shut. And afterwards came also other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh.
All right, so you had a couple of those 5. It was 10 virgins, 5 foolish, and 5 wise. A cultural thing about the marriage, when the bridegroom would when he would betroth a wife, he would go and prepare a place. That's why Yahweh Shah said, I'm gonna go to my father, I'm gonna go and prepare a place. My father's house had many mansions, so I'm gonna go prepare you a place. The bride didn't know when the bridegroom was gonna return. So she always had to be ready. She always had to be ready to just up and go. Once she was betrothed, once the bridegroom betrothed her, he would make her and his father tell him, hey, you know what I'm saying, everything's set up. Go ahead and go get your wife, bring her back. So the wife would the virgin would never know. So this is dealing with this parable, is that those wise, those 10 virgins, they had to keep their lamp. They had to keep the oil in the lamp. We had to understand too on how lamps work, especially in those days. But it really hadn't changed. The lamp really hasn't changed from those days to now. It's just, different material. But you had to have oil, and you had to have this thing called a wick, in which the oil, which is like a stem, which the oil sat in, that sat in the oil. And anytime that wick would burn for a certain amount of time, it would get charred, and then you would have to trim it because it'll affect the fire, and pollutants will come from that fire if you didn't trim that lamp. So So when the bridegroom came again in verse 11, afterward came also other virgins saying, Lord, Lord, open up to us. And we also seen that in Matthew earlier when he said, you know what I'm saying, when when the time will come and those will say, Lord, Lord, haven't we done all these certain things in your name, and haven't we prophesied in your name? And then he said, get away from me, for I have not known you. And that knowing you is also like an intimate relationship, man. You know how them Christians say, man, I got an intimate relationship with the Father, to know someone. And we know that in the scripture too, when it says, you know what I'm saying, he knew her. You know what I'm saying? So to know Yahushua is to have that relationship with our King. All right, go ahead to the next slide. All right, we deal with the 5 foolish virgins. 5 foolish virgins. Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 4.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 4. Therefore I said, surely these are poor. They are foolish.
They are what?
They are foolish.
Uh-huh.
For they know not the way of the Lord, nor the judgment of their God.
So they are foolish because they know not the way of the Lord. They know not the way of Yahweh, nor the judgment, nor the consequences of not having enough oil when the bridegroom returns. And see, that oil is like your gas. That oil is what's going to keep you burning. You're going to need that burning. You're going to need that flame to burn through the midnight hour. And we're going to deal with that too. Go ahead to Lamentations chapter 2, verse 14.
Lamentations 2:14. Thy prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity, to turn away thy captivity, but have seen for thee false burdens and causes of banishment.
So the prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity, to turn away thy captivity. And we dealing with that now, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have to admit our sins, man, and repent. Go ahead to Ezekiel chapter 13, verse 3.
Ezekiel chapter 13, verse 3. Thus saith the Lord God, woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own spirit and have seen nothing.
They follow their own spirit, man, following after the lust of the flesh, following their own understanding. The Proverbs 3:5, Proverbs 14:12. Leaning to your own understanding, man. Thinking you know something. Prideful. And that's what pride is, leaning on your own understanding. Thinking you know more than the Creator. Alright? And they have seen nothing. They have seen nothing because their lamp's not lit. They don't have no oil. So they stumble. They stumble. They know not what they stumble at. That's in Isaiah 59. Titus chapter 3, verse 3.
For we ourselves also were sometimes foolish.
We ourselves were also sometimes foolish. We didn't have the lamp. We didn't have the light. Right?
Disobedient. Deceived. Serving diverse lusts and pleasures.
Serving those pleasures, man. Come on.
Living in malice and envy. Hateful and hating one another.
Hateful and hating each other, man. Go ahead to the next slide. All right, we deal with the 5 wise virgins. We'll see why they were wise. We've seen why the other 5 were foolish. We'll see why what made the other ones wise. Proverbs chapter 28, verse 7.
Whoso keepeth the law is a wise son, but he that is a companion of riotous men shameth his father. So
whosoever keeps the law is a wise son. Whoever keeps the law, therefore they're going to be wise. Psalms chapter 19, verse 7.
Psalm chapter 19, verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimonies of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
The testimony will make wise the simple, man. The law will convert those into perfection. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5.
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people because of all these laws and statutes and commandments. Right? Go ahead to the next slide. So keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, that's what's going to keep that oil going. That's what's going to keep that oil burning. And that's what made the other 5 virgins wise. All right. Now we're going to talk about the lamp. We're going to talk about the The fixtures of the lamp is what make up the lamp, right? And the lamp really signifies that light. All right, give me Psalms chapter 119, verse 105.
The book of Psalms 119 and 105. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path.
Thy word is a lamp and a light unto my path. So when they ran out of oil, they didn't see you can't see the way. Like I said in that Isaiah, I think it's 49. Let me pull it real quick. I think it's 59 verse 10. Yeah. The Isaiah chapter 59 verse 10, we grope for the wall like the blind, and we grope as if we had no eyes. We stumble at noonday as in night. We are in desolate places as dead men. So a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, you ain't got that light. You ain't walking in the path. You ain't walking in righteousness. You stumbling. You don't even know why you stumbling. You falling. You don't even know why you falling. You going into this affliction and you don't even know why you being afflicted. You don't even know why you in this. Why all this happening to me at one? Like, well, this is coming down on me. You know what I'm saying? But that's because you don't have your light on. You can't see. You can't see. You don't know the difference between affliction and being tested. Go to Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23.
For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light.
The commandments is a lamp, and the law is light. Man, the virgins all had 10 lamps. They all had 10 lamps, man, and oil fueled the lamps. And you had something in there called a wick. And you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna just, you know, I don't know this for sure, but it's called a wick, and that wick, I use this symbolically. I see it as wickedness that had to be trimmed, right? And we're gonna get into that. Baruch chapter 4 verse 12. You got your pop.
And reproof of instructions are the way of life.
Good.
Yeah, I got it. Chill out. The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1 through 2. This is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
Such as leave it shall die. Read it from the top.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die.
Keep going.
Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold.
1 and 2.
That's it.
No. Keep going.
Turn ye, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof.
Walk in the presence of the light thereof. Come on, that's what I want.
That thou mayest be illuminated.
That you can be illuminated, man, so you can see, so you won't be groping at the walls, not knowing what you stumbling at, so you can see the bridegroom when he returns, right? Go ahead to Proverbs chapter 20, verse 27.
Book of Proverbs chapter 20, verse 27. The spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly.
And that light on, you know, a lot of times that John chapter 3 verse 20, bring it out in the camp all the time. They're not wanting to come to the light. All right, for everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. So the spirit of man is the candle of Yahweh, searching all the inward parts. So those who hate the light, they're not going to come to the light because their deeds are going to be reproved. And they know Yahweh sees those inner parts, sees those inner workings. You can hide it from everybody else, but you know what I'm saying? The Most High sees that, and he's going to deal with that, right? All right, go to the next slide. You're going to have to trim your own lamp. You're gonna have to trim your own lamp. Can't nobody trim your lamp for you, man. Once that wick get to burning and they get that charcoal on there, you gonna have to take the scissors. You gonna have to cut that. And that trimming your lamp is just like your flesh, man. That's that walking in the wilderness 40 years, and then once all your forefathers die off, y'all get to go into the kingdom. But you're gonna have to take a flint rock and circumcise yourself. You're gonna have to trim your lamp, right? You're gonna have to mortify the flesh in Colossians 3:5. You're gonna have to cut down on the flesh. You're gonna have to deny yourself, right? You're gonna have to deny yourself. Anyone who, let me say that, get that real quick. Matthew 16:24. Then said Yahushua, Matthew chapter 16, verse 24. Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Or in other words, let him trim his lamp, man. You're going to have to trim your lamp. You want to follow me, you're going to have to trim your lamp. Right? Philippians chapter 2, verse 12.
Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Every man is going to be responsible for their own lamp. Ain't nobody finna give you their oil. You can't use my oil. You can't use Isaiah's oil. You can't get in with Gad oil. You're going to have to get your own oil. And keep your light burning. My oil can't keep your light burning. My oil keep my light burning. His oil keep his light burning. Now we're gonna see that oil can ignite other people, like my light can ignite might get your wick back on fire, but it ain't gonna keep it on fire because it ain't that oil. You know how you could take a candle and light another candle, but if the candle if all the wax is going off the candle, it's gonna burn out as soon as you know what I'm saying. It ain't gonna last for 30 seconds anyway, but you can light it, but it ain't gonna last for 30 seconds because it done been burnt out. It ain't been trimmed. You know what I'm saying? All right, go ahead.
The book of Proverbs,
chapter 23, come.
23:22.
Because you seen the verse that says, man, you can't use none of my oil. You need to go buy some oil. You need to go buy some and go buy some from those who sell it.
Buy the truth.
You gotta buy this truth, man. You gotta buy these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. You gotta put yourself on the altar, man. It costs. You know what I'm saying? You were bought with a price. Come on.
And sell it not.
And you can't sell it. Come on.
Also, wisdom and instruction and understanding.
Wisdom, instruction, and understanding. Those 5 virgins who kept their light burning, they were wise. Go ahead to the next slide. Newness keeps your fire burning, man. Newness keeps your fire burning, man. They just had that Hebrew summit, man. That lit a few fires. That lit a few fires. A lot of brothers with, you know what I'm saying, been in this thing 20 years, 25 years going out here hitting the streets, man. 30 years getting out here hitting the streets. They see 200 brothers at 5 points that lights a fire in them, man. That might have gave them a little more oil. That newness. These are things that ignites that fire again. Get you out. New garments. New garments might put a little fire in you, man. I had a brother tell me, looked like, he came out and had his garment on and said he looked like, he thought he was one of the 2 witnesses, man. He had a different fire when he walked out of the house, man. So, garments, just new things, man. Shofar horns. You know what I'm saying? Can't wait to get out the camp, blow my new shofar horn. I got my new staff. You know what I'm saying? You becoming a new man. You putting down the cigarettes. You beating certain sins. You actually accomplishing something in the walk. You actually becoming more righteous. Those things bring going and keep that fire going, man. Keep that newness going. So you got to keep challenging yourself in this walk too. You know what I'm saying? Or you're going to burn out. Newness keeps the fire burning. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17.
Wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord.
Yeah. And
touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you.
So you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta step away, man. You gotta step away from from the uncleanness, man. Step away from those who ain't in this walk, man. Gather yourselves together against, you know what I'm saying, amongst those that are righteous. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to get drained out, man, because you'll spend a lot of your oil on the world, man, and folks at your job and family members. Colossians chapter 3, verse 9.
Lie not one to another,
We can't be lying to each other. Come on.
seeing that ye have put off the old man with his deeds.
And that's what I'm saying. Putting off the old man, becoming the new man. That newness is going to spark us fire. I seen, I wasn't at the summit, but I seen the brother from, the head brother from AOI, and he was saying that, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, I've been doing this thing over 30 years, and, you know, you had these new brothers coming in, and they remember the precept. Like, yeah, you remember the precept, because you got that fire. You just came in. You know what I'm saying? Your oil filled up, your lamp filled up, man. So you had that fire when you first get in, and even, you know what I'm saying, even when we go back and I think about when I first hit, you know what I'm saying, I ain't think I was ready. I was all super nervous and whatnot. But, you know what I'm saying, you know, that fire was there, man. You know what I'm saying? I was studying super hard, you know what I'm saying? And I'm probably studying more then than I do now, man. And that's just the honest truth. I gotta be honest. You know what I'm saying? So that's something I can work on, man, and get my fire back. You know what I'm saying? These classes get my fire. These classes keep my fire going too, man. That keeps the oil going. You finished that Romans? Nah. I mean that Colossians?
No.
Verse 10.
Verse 10. And have put off the new man, and
no,
put on the new man,
and have put on the new man,
which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him.
Yeah, and that's renewed in the knowledge of our Creator, man. That's renewed in these laws, statutes, and commandments. Again, like you conquering certain sins, man. That can be a newness. You know what I'm saying? That can be a refresher. That can fill that lamp back up. All right, Romans chapter 12, verse 11.
Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord.
Once that lamp start running low, man, it gets slothful, man. That light they don't burn like it used to. Once that char start building up on that wick, which is short for wickedness, that thing start burning low, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you start getting slothful. You start getting lazy. You start not caring as much. That fire don't burn as much as it did for their word and for doing the work. So we can't be slothful in business, man. First
Chronicles 29:9. Then the people rejoiced, for that they offered willingly, because with perfect heart they offered willingly to the Lord. And David the king also rejoiced with great joy.
Alms, helping people, that is a newness, man. That'll put more oil in your lamp, man. You know what I'm saying? Giving alms, helping those in need, that'll ignite a fire, man. And seeing, you know what I'm saying, throwing the seed out there and seeing it producing fruit, that brings newness. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead to the next slide. All right, fire that burns through the midnight hour. It said because the bridegroom came in the midnight hour. You know what I'm saying? You need that flame to keep burning into the midnight hour. Things that'll help the way that you know the kind of fire that burns through the midnight hour is the kind of fire where you can sleep during the storm. You ain't losing sleep. You know what I'm saying? You had the when Yahushua and the disciples was on the boat and the storm came and they went and they had to wake Yahushua up, man. Like, hey, man, the storm about to kill us, man. He was down there in the deck sleep, man. He had that oil that burned through the midnight hour. You'll be able to sleep through the storms. All right. When you got that oil, you can give thanks in afflictions and infirmities. You're going to be grateful for the afflictions. You ain't finna be losing sleep on them. You're going to be grateful for them. You're going to be thanking the Most High during the afflictions. Grateful to be tested. Right? You're going to give praise to the Most High regardless of the circumstances. Whether you be brought down low or brung up high, regardless of the circumstances, whether you lose it all or you gain it all, You gonna praise the Most High, man. That's that oil that burn in the midnight hour. And again, I bring out earlier, your fire, when you had that oil that burned through the midnight hour, your fire will ignite others. Now they may not keep going, like I say, because they may not have no oil in there. It might just be enough to light their wick. And ain't no oil in there. But your fire can ignite others' fire. You know what I'm saying? Get them, even though it's just going momentarily, but it can spark something in them to get them back on that right path, man. Go ahead to the next slide, bro. Job chapter 1, verse 21. This is giving two examples on the kind of fire that burns through the midnight hour.
And said,
go ahead, read that, bring the script out again.
The book of Job, chapter 1, verse 21. And said, naked came I out of my mother's womb.
After Job been stripped of everything, naked I came out the womb. Come on.
And naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord have taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord.
Praising the Most High, man. After losing everything, I came in here naked. I'ma leave naked. Blessed be the name of Yahweh, man. 2 Samuel chapter 2, verse 12. Listen to the King Dawid.
2 Samuel chapter 12, verse 16 through 20. David therefore besought God for the child, and David fasted and went in.
So David and Bathsheba, you know, that old fornicating child, man, that old adultery child, he had to get punished for having that child. Come on.
And fasted and went in and laid all night upon the earth. And the elder of his house arose and went to him to raise him up from the earth, but he would not. Neither did he eat bread with them. And it came to pass on that seventh day that the child cried. And the servant of David feared to tell him that the child was dead.
Man, they ain't even want to tell David. They was up fasting and praying. You know what I'm saying? No matter what the circumstance was, he knew the Most High had done put a darn death sign on that child, man, that he was gonna kill that child, and he still tried to fast and pray. You know what I'm saying? Hoping that he could change the Most High's mind. But and the servants were scared to even tell him that the child was out here crying and that the child was actually about to die. Come on.
For they said, behold, while the child was yet alive, we spake unto him, and he would not hearken unto our voice. How will he then vex himself if we tell him that the child is dead?
Come on.
But when David saw that his servants whispered, David perceived that the child was dead. Therefore David said unto his servants, is the child dead? And they said, he is dead. Then David arose from the earth and washed and anointed himself.
And he did what?
And washed and anointed himself.
That's what we're going to have to do, man. When them afflictions come, man, when those things come, you're going to have to wash and anoint yourself, man. And anoint yourself with that oil, man. Wash your face, man.
And change his apparel.
And change your apparel, man. And put on that white linen. I'm saying, of righteousness, man. Come on.
And came into the house of the Lord and whispered.
And he did what?
And worshipped.
And worshipped. After his child died, he came he washed his face and anointed himself, put on new apparel, and went and worshipped the Most High Yah, man. Come on.
Then he came to his own house, and when he required, they set bread before him, and he did eat.
And he did eat, but before he even went and ate, he went and worshiped, man. That's the kind of fire that burns through the midnight hour. Go ahead to the next slide. All right, they didn't bring enough oil, man. Have you set yourself up for failure? Do you know how long this trip gonna last, man? A lot of people, bringing out the prophecies and stuff, man. We got about 8 more years, you know what I'm saying? And they storing up just enough oil. They got enough oil for 8 years. Then when them 8 years out, they out. They done fell out the wall. Like, man, he ain't coming. He ain't coming. The bridegroom ain't coming. And then they gonna fall asleep, man. And then before they know it, they gonna wax cold. Matthew 24, verse 12, bring it out.
Matthew 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
So iniquity shall abound, the love of many gonna wax cold, man. Wickedness is gonna be everywhere. And it's already everywhere, man. And we live off of it. We were just talking about that, man. We love controversy. We like black is the new hate is black, man. Hate is the new black, Shalakia. Hate is the new black, man. I heard who said that? Dr. Umar. Hate is the new black, man. We love hatred, man. We love. I heard somebody else say, man, we like when you went to Apollo, man. The first thing you went to do, like, hate is easy, man. Hate is natural. When you went to watch Apollo, the only reason you watched it is to see people get booed off the stage. To see the Sandman come out there. You didn't see the Sandman come out there. It wasn't a good show. The only reason we want to watch somebody videos or watch somebody Instagram is because it's something controversial on there, or something where they fighting each other or doing something hideous or anyway. 2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 7.
2 Timothy 4:7. I have fought the good fight.
We gotta understand that it's gonna be a good fight, man. It's gonna be a 12-rounder, man. You're gonna have to go the distance. Come on.
I have finished my course.
Yeah.
I have kept the faith.
Yeah, keep the faith, keep the light burning. Matthew 24 verse 42.
Matthew 24 verse 42. Watch therefore,
Mm-hmm.
for ye know not what hour the Lord doeth come.
So you know not what hour that Yahushua the bridegroom cometh. And you can't watch if you ain't got no lamp. If your light's out, you can't watch. You watching the world. Go ahead to the next slide. Now don't let Hasatan, don't let Satan blow out your lamp. Go ahead and read that, Ephesians chapter 2 verse 1.
Ephesians chapter 2 verse 1 through 2. And you have he quickened, who were dead in trespasses and in sin.
Read a little louder for me.
And you have he quickened, who were dead in trespasses and sin, wherein the time past ye walked according to the course of the world, according to the prince of the powers of the air.
According to the prince of the power of the air. Come on.
The spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience.
The spirit that worketh in the children of disobedience, man. Those children of darkness, man. Not the children of light. Those children of darkness, the children of disobedience, man. That walk the course of the prince of the power of the air. So I can get this phone for him.
Turn it off. It'll shut off. It's a lot.
According to the prince of the power of the air. And we can't let the prince of the power, those who controlling the air, Hasatan who controlling the air, blow out your lamp, man. And that's what happened to Peter when he seen Yahushua coming walking on the water. And he said, Master, let me walk on that water with you. And then that strong storm came in. That strong wind came in, I was saying. And made him lose his confidence. Made him lose his faith. Made him lose his oil. And he started sinking. Go ahead to the next slide. All right, use your oil responsibly. Psalm chapter 141, verse 5.
Psalm chapter 141 and verse 5. Let the righteous smite me. It shall be a kindness.
It should be a kindness. Let the righteous smite me. It should be a kindness. Come on.
And let him reprove me.
And let him reprove me.
It shall be an excellent oil.
It should be what?
An excellent oil.
You can't get no oil unless somebody you getting reproof. You can't take reproof. You can't get no oil. You don't know how to get reproof. You don't know how to be rebuked. You don't know how to take criticism. You can't get your lamp refilled, man. Reproof is what gets your lamp refilled. You can't come in front of the prophets and stand in front of the light so your deeds can be reproved. And that John 3:20 that we read earlier, then you can't get no oil, man. Come on.
Which shall not break my head.
It ain't gonna break my head, man. It ain't gonna hurt you, man. Sticks and stones may break my bones. Words never hurt me, man. Come on.
For yet my prayer also shall be in their calamity.
Give me Psalm chapter 45, verse 7.
Psalm chapter 45, verse 7. Thou lovest righteousness and hated wickedness. Therefore, God, Thy God has anointed thee with the oil of gladness above the fellows.
So if you love righteousness and hate wickedness, the Most High will anoint you with that oil of gladness, man. Give me Proverbs chapter 21, verse 20.
Proverbs 21 and 20. There is treasure to be desired and oil in the dwelling of the wise.
There's treasure, and that's why you gotta be around those righteous, man. You gotta be around those wise virgins, man, who's keeping their lamps full. You gotta be around. Don't miss the discourse of the elders, man. Be around wise people who keeping their lamps full, man. Those who been in their walk 20, 30 years. You want to be around those kind of people, man. So you can get your oil filled, man. So you can know what it takes to keep that oil burning. There's treasure to be desired. Come on.
Slocky. There's treasure to be desired in the oil in the dwelling of the wise. But a foolish man spendeth it up.
But a foolish man spendeth it up, man. A foolish man gonna spin up his oil on Facebook debates and debating back and forth with somebody you know what I'm saying, on the keyboard, man. Somebody you never gonna see again. You never know if they can fake it. That's the place you can fake it the most, man. This whole place is fake, but Facebook, the internet is one of the fakest places, man. You could be anybody on there. 5, 6, 10 profiles. Have a profile saying you're a Pan-African. Have a profile for being some Hebrews. Being all kind of different little groups. You know what I'm saying? Taking in, I was quick to go to the keyboard and be like, what's the cuts for this? Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? You could be whatever. But you'll spin your oil up arguing with somebody. I done spent 7, 8 hours debating with somebody, man, in the Facebook groups, man. And then get 50 friends I don't know. Yeah, that was some deep knowledge you was giving. But then, you know what I'm saying, it don't help them. I just got my lamp burnt out, man. All right, looking at it from a cultural standpoint, during the Feast of Tabernacles. During the Feast of Tabernacles, in Yahushua's day, the temple priests would set up 4 great lampstands with golden lamp holders, which they would light with the aid of enormous ladders in the temple courtyard. The lighting of these lamps began the celebration of the great Hashanah. All right, give me the Exodus chapter 30, verse 7 to co-sign this.
Exodus chapter 30 and verse 7 through 8. And Aaron shall burn thereon.
And what's the Feast of Tabernacles about?
It's about atonement, is it not?
Nah, it's about the great wedding. The last day of the Tabernacles is the wedding. That's the great Hashanah, the great Sanah. Hosanna. Or the great what's the great dinner or the great feast? The last great feast or something like that. But yeah, that 8th day is the great feast, man. For that dinner that the king, that the parable of the king, and you go out there and bid those, you know what I'm saying, on the highways and byways, and bid them to the wedding, bid them to the dinner party, right?
The book of Exodus 30 and verse 7. And Aaron shall burn thereon sweet incense every morning when he dresseth the lamp. He shall burn incense.
The lamps.
When he dresseth the lamps, he shall burn incense upon it. And when Aaron lighteth the lamps at even, he shall burn incense upon it, a perpetual incense before the Lord throughout your generations.
Tabernacles, lamps, oil stayed filled. Exodus chapter 27, verse 20. It say that the lamps stayed filled up.
In Exodus 27 and 20. And thou shalt command the children of Israel that they bring them pure oil olive beaten for the light, cause the lamp to burn always.
So thou shalt command the children of Israel that they bring the pure oil olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamp to burn always. So those tabernacle lamps will burn, that like them 4 lamps that sat at the corners of the tabernacle. They burned always, man. They was filled with oil. And that's how we have to be, man. We gonna have to burn, man. We gonna have to have that oil inside of us, and have our and know when to trim our wicks, man. Know that, you know what I'm saying, when those pollutants are coming into our life, man. When those certain iniquities or old friends or old contacts, you know what I'm saying, start coming back into our lives, we gotta know we gonna need to trim the wick, man. We need to retrim it. You know what I'm saying? Get those people out of our lives. Get that iniquity back in order, man. Repent and mortify the flesh. You know what I'm saying? In closing, go ahead to the next verse. It's the last slide.
The book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 35 through 40.
Mm-hmm.
Let your loins be girded about, and your lights burning, and ye yourselves like unto men that wait for the Lord, for their Lord, when he will return from the wedding.
It said, let your loins be girded about, man. Man up. And your lights burning, man. You gotta have your light. Matter of fact, I seen the elder Tahar of GMS, man. He gave a warning not a warning, but pretty much he sent out like a statute. He sent out a commandment for all those who in GMS. He was like, man, y'all fires done went out. He said, he was like, man, why ain't there 300-400 videos up right now? What are y'all doing, man? Why ain't y'all doing, like, why you in GMS? You know we put up videos, man. Everybody should be doing a video. Everybody should be doing a 5-10 minute video, man. I've been in this truth 30-something years. I'm gonna did 3 videos today, man. What are y'all doing? It's a Sabbath day. You shouldn't be working. Y'all fire done burnt out, man. Y'all shouldn't even be in GMS. Get out. Just get out. Just leave, man. You're not gonna put out the videos, just leave. Just get out of GMS, man. And it kind of seemed kind of harsh to some people, but you know, I can't, you know what I'm saying? He been in this thing 30 years, man. Light's still burning, man. And he knows the signs. He knows the signs of those who light them burnt out, man. Who just jumped in there because they seen somebody else light burning, or was living under somebody else's lamp. Alright. So gird up your loins, man. Keep your lights burning. Come on.
We start from the top.
36.
36. And ye yourselves like unto men that wait for their Lord, when he will return from the wedding, that when he cometh and knocketh, they may open unto him immediately. Blessed are those servants.
Blessed are who?
Blessed are those servants.
Blessed are those servants, man, who stayed on, man. Who waited on the Hamashiach, man, that waited on the bridegroom, man, who was always prepared, no matter what. You ain't worry about no matter what. You keep signs out for the prophecy, but if it don't line up, like you said, you still out here waiting, man. You ain't letting that. A lot of people fell out of the truth when that prophecy of that Y2K prophecy that was in One West, man. A lot of brothers fell out of the truth, man. A lot of brothers sold their houses. Some truly believe sold their houses and sold their cars and that whole nine. But some fell out after that, man. That thing broke up after that. But you still got to keep your fire going, man. You know what I'm saying? No matter how this thing may look, no matter how close we may seem like we are, don't lax. Don't get relaxed. Don't fall back. Don't think, oh, we ain't got but so and so amount of years. And see, people don't think that anyway. People don't believe that. Like I said, in Y2K, they were selling their houses, man. Selling their cars, man. Jokers trying to get new careers. Trying to get their lives back in order. You know what I'm saying? Doing everything they can to keep these jobs, man. Ain't nobody really believe that this thing over, like, you know what I'm saying? Now what I'm saying, you could talk it all day. But actions, behavior shows expectations, man. If you really knew that, you would go even harder. You'll go even harder for this thing. Keep going up.
Blessed are those, the servants, whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. Verily I say unto you, that he shall gird himself and make them to sit down to meat, and will come forth and serve them.
And that's that great dinner, man. You sit down with them, you sit down with the bridegroom to eat. Come on.
And if he shall come in the second watch, and come in the third watch, and find them so, blessed are those servants. And and this know, that if the good men of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched, and not have suffered this house to be broken through. Be ye therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at an hour ye think not.
So be ye ready, man. If a thief, if you already knew exactly what time the thief was gonna come in, man, you be sitting behind the door with the gauge, ready for him to walk in there. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. That shows the expectations, man. If you thinking this thing finna end in the next few months, or you thinking this thing finna end in the next few years, you gonna be ready. You gonna be ready, man. Your light gonna be burnt. That's it. 100 gonna be into it. So with that, man, we gonna say shalom, and just giving you another basic look at the 10 virgins parable, man.